What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and man, another Star Wars project biting the dust, this time Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins Star Wars movie. What's up? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. It's outro. They've decided to pull it off the release schedule. This is on Entertainment Weekly, and honestly, we saw this one coming because Patty Jenkins, they announced this back in like 2020, right? During a Disney investor meeting, and they had this big trailer where they had Patty Jenkins taking off her little helmet and walking out to a plane, her giving her story about how she has a fighter pilot as a father, and it was all this stuff. But that was it. After that, we heard absolutely nothing about it. It's starting to continue this black eye that Star Wars has of announcing these projects, and then suddenly the projects are gone and nothing happens with them. Okay, let's check out the list of those, by the way. Let's see what that's looking like and where we're at now. As you can see, that's the list right there. Everybody's sweetheart, Kathleen Kennedy. Man, oh man, I wish my brother George was here. So let's look. We got Josh Trank. You guys remember he was supposed to direct the Boba Fett film, and then, you know, creative differences, outro. Lord Miller actually directed most of Solo, the Star Wars story, but then they stepped in. They said, nah, this isn't quite what we want. So they gave them the guys the heave ho, and they brought in Ron Howard. Colin Trevorrow, he was supposed to direct episode 9. Remember that? Okay. And a lot of people, after looking at his little treatment of what they were supposed to do with episode 9, they were like, oh man, that would have been great. But nope. Creative differences out the door. Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones guys, were supposed to get their own Star Wars series. They were supposed to start working right after that. And I don't know if it's directly related to season 8 of Game of Thrones, but after that pulled the plug off on that. They were done with that one. James Mangold was actually supposed to take over for Josh Trank and direct Boba Fett after they pulled Josh Trank off the project. But then that never materialized. Whatever Boba Fett was going to be ended up getting translated into The Mandalorian. James Mangold stayed on to direct Indiana Jones #5. We'll see how that goes. And then now we've added to the list Patty Jenkins. So you can see, since Lucasfilm took over back in 2012, we got 6 directors getting the axe by Kathleen Kennedy and the folks at Lucasfilm. So it ain't hating if it's true, folks, okay? Nobody's hating on this situation. We're just talking about it straight up and saying, hey, this hasn't been working out very well with Star Wars vetting and pulling out good directors and getting them on board to direct their projects. And, you know, say what you want to say about Kathleen Kennedy's history as a film producer. I mean, she's absolutely shit the bed when it comes to being the head of a studio. At best, you could say she has a 50-50 success rate, and that's being generous, okay? Because really, you're talking about The Force Awakens, which still stands as the top domestic film of all time. You're talking about the 2 seasons of Mandalorian. Obviously, that got rave reviews, and people seem to be pretty cool with that. And then, of course, you got Rogue One. A lot of people like that particular film. I absolutely like Solo. I think Solo is a fun film. I enjoyed myself. You know, not everybody likes Solo, so you can't say that that's been 100% successful. And then, of course, the other films and projects, it's all been mixed results for all of that. It's not been going well, and so this is just another black eye to that entire situation. Let's go ahead and read this article. So they talked about, like, back in December of 2020, they would be focusing on a series or a movie about a new generation of star pilots. It was an exciting announcement. Jenkins, of course, had been doing Wonder Woman, so she's no stranger to the big budget stuff. But then after that, there's been no news, right? No news whatsoever. Like, I honestly think they just had like this brainwave. Somebody said Rogue Squadron one day, just kind of walking through the building. Remember those Rogue Squadron books, man? Those was pretty good. Somebody heard that and ran into Kathleen Kennedy's office and said, we should do a Rogue Squadron film. And everybody said, yeah, well, who should we get? We don't know. And then, you know, they just stumble. Oh, hey, is that Patty Jenkins over there? Hey, Patty, come over here real quick. You want to do a Rogue Squadron movie? Hell, my father was a fighter pilot. Why not? And that was it. Like, that's all that they did. And then they made some little trailer and announced it. And that was it. And I have literally searched for viable information on this ever since that day, and nothing ever came out. Nothing was mentioned at Celebration. Nothing was mentioned at D23. So for me, this announcement was just something that we expected, okay? All right, we kind of knew that this was coming. All right, fine. Get it off your books. Hey, we're not making this movie no more. Done and dusted. Let's move on, okay? But the question now becomes when it comes to Star Wars and their film franchise, because Star Wars is a film franchise, you guys, all right? It was a franchise that was founded on movies, all right? Not founded on television or cartoons or comic books or novels or anything like that. Star Wars was built off of movies. It's unique in that aspect. It was founded on film, and it's probably best when it's on film. Like, The Mandalorian is the only series that they've gotten more right than wrong. You know, Baby Yoda and Mando and all of the characters that they're bringing in from the old Clone Wars series. Been an absolute hit, and now they're going to create the Ahsoka saga. I think the Ahsoka series is probably going to be just like Mandalorian. It's going to be very nostalgic. A lot of people are going to love that. So I don't think that they're wrong there, but they got to figure out the films, okay? And I would absolutely bring George Lucas back into the fold as either my main story consultant or somebody that can just, hey, pitch some ideas to me, George. Hey, George, we're about to put together a story team, and we need you over here ASAP. Start thinking of some projects and things that you want to do. Set it 200 years after Luke Skywalker. What does the galaxy look like? What's going on? Give me some plot details. Give me some different character scenarios. We'll catch up with you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, let's see what this guy comes up with. I guarantee you George still has some good storytelling in him. He just has to be motivated to do it. And he has to believe in the franchise. Like, again, I still believe in this franchise. I just don't think the people that are running the franchise know how to use it. Get George back into this thing. Hey, look, hey, everybody swallow your pride at this point, all right? Because you're just announcing stuff and moving it up. Nope, can't do it. Renounce it. Nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it. It's like, okay, enough of this crap, okay? Get George back in the building, okay? Offer him a salary. I don't care. But get this guy back in here and get this. This is still, in my opinion, the best franchise in terms of its scope and scale. Star Wars films used to be event films, okay? Events. It took 3 years for these things to come out, and everyone that came out was just bigger than the last, okay? So, in my opinion, you got to get George Lucas back. You got to get the event feel of Star Wars films back. That's the only way to go about this thing. I think that the film part of Star Wars is struggling right now, and that's where we need to change the game. But anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? Another movie bites the dust. Rogue Squadron. I still think they should do this film, you know, and maybe take off and make its own little thing about it. I still think there's an opportunity, but you gotta probably get somebody else. Patty Jenkins seems like she's just overwhelmed. Maybe she has some good ideas, maybe she didn't. Try to get another director that's excited about this project, that really wants to do this thing, that has the time on his schedule, and then see what happens. All right, but folks, what do you think about this situation? Go ahead, leave me your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below. And thanks for watching. See you next time.